Okay, welcome to the November meeting of koha-US, our general meeting. We've got some exciting things to talk about. And so let's just get started here. Okay, so first of all, we have some announcements. Giving Tuesday is, oh dear, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
November 30th this year.
30th. Yeah, I was like, there's not much after anymore. Yeah, so it's a opportunity for nonprofits and small businesses. I think it's mostly nonprofits to generate income. So the Education Committee is going to do a 2-hour presentation on Giving Tuesday, answering questions that people from the koha community have. And that means you get to submit the questions. So if you have the agenda, there's a link there. There's emails that have gone out for you to submit questions about koha and workflows, how other libraries do stuff, how people use certain modules, all kinds of things that are fair game for this. So, and then it's an opportunity also for people to make donations to koha-US, which we use the money that we raise to, to pay for developments that the community, the koha-US community votes on. So encourage you all to submit your questions and then to participate in the event. What time is it again, Jason? I don't remember.
Okay, Central Time it's going to be 11 to 1, so
okay.
9 Pacific and noon Eastern is when it'll start. And the plan is to have the Education Committee in a Zoom that's then being streamed out to YouTube. So if you're just watching, you're going to be participating via YouTube, and we'll get those links and things sent out as it comes. And I'll just make one idle threat here. If we don't get any more questions, then you're going to be at the mercy of the Education Committee as far as what we have to present. So please do add some questions into that form so that we can fill the time with useful information and not just me doing goofy things on stream. So
I'll be there too. I can be goofy as well. I can talk endlessly about koha.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to steer the conversation, ask questions.
Oh yeah, and I got a really fancy microphone.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Well, actually, I got it for doing my koha videos, so I won't keep hearing.
Okay.
The danger of not asking questions is that Fred will do poetry.
Yes.
Okay.
I might even sing.
There you have it. There is the potential or whatever to.
Yes, I have a song I haven't done in public before. It's called MRSA by the healthcare people.
Yeah. Okay. There's your motivation to submit those questions. Anyway, yeah. Heather's doing YMCA. Okay. That's exciting in and of itself, but the next exciting thing is starting the planning for the 2022 conference. So December 1st, proposals will open for proposals to be submitted for those locations that we that are looking forward to hosting the koha-US conference, sorry. And there's been a bit of a plug to, especially for those of you east of the Mississippi, Eastern Seaboard, to get your proposals out there. We tend to be going west a lot. Let's visit the east side of the country. So If you're east of the Mississippi and you want to have a bunch of really cool librarians show up at in your town and have some really interesting and fun conversations, and to show off what you do at your library and what your town is all about, then submit your proposals soon. Well, they will be available to submit on December 1st, and there'll be an email that goes out and gives you the form, because there's definitely a form to fill out with information about your site and about your town and about housing and where do people, only one koha-US conference has occurred east of the Mississippi, so we need to get more. So housing, airports, transportation, all, stuff to do for people who maybe want to extend their stay, all that good stuff. So get with your, visitors bureau or your convention center or whoever you have in your town, and just make your town sound amazing. I'm sure that it is. You don't really have to work at it, but there you have it. Okay, anybody here interested? Anybody here east of the Mississippi? Yeah, that's part of the problem.
I'm east of the Mississippi, but I'm just me. We have
You're just you.
3-4 people in our library. I don't think we could pull it off.
Okay, all right.
Now, okay, anyone here from Montgomery County, Maryland? I think they're going to Koha soon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Montgomery County is a few metro stops down from the Smithsonian. We've got places to eat. I think there's a 7-Eleven somewhere.
Haute Couture. I can't even say that right now.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Hot
Okay.
dogs served on doilies.
There you go. Sounds good. Okay. Well, if you have connections with people east of the Mississippi, Koha libraries, if you happen to be chatting with one in the next month or so, encourage them to consider putting in a proposal. All right. Any other announcements that we have?
Yes, I wanted to let everybody know that there will not be a every other Thursday video this week. Christopher and I did not have an opportunity to make one before he became ill. And so
okay.
We're going to skip a week. So
Okay.
see you back in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And I am not 100% sure who has the ability to put things out on Facebook and Twitter, but if you give me the ability to do that, I can send something out on Facebook and Twitter that says no video this week.
Yeah, I think we can make you an admin on the Facebook page. I don't know who's got Twitter. Maybe Lizette.
Okay.
We don't use it very much.
Facebook, yeah, I don't think we've done much. I can just tweet something on my own account with the appropriate hashtags. So
I'm one of the administrators of the Facebook account, but I received a 30-day ban for using the word burn and house in the same sentence, saying it incited violence.
Oh.
You bastard.
All because somebody posted a picture of a spider on a window screen.
Guess you can't play talking heads on Facebook, can you?
Okay. Next.
Rhonda,
yes.
You've got a question in the chat. When will the 2022 conference be held?
Okay, that's an excellent question. The conference is held anytime between end of July and the end of September. But if you wanted to make it in October, you could do that too. It's pretty much up to your site. It's in that late summer, early fall time frame is when we usually have it. but we've literally had it in August, and we've had it in September, and maybe even there was one at the end of July. But that's something in the proposal. We will ask you what days you want to have it. So, depending on, so McKinney chose the weekend that they did because the Oktoberfest, they had Oktoberfest right after that. And then if anybody wanted to stay for Oktoberfest, they could do that. That's why they chose that weekend. So it's up to you. And it's, well, I was going to say it's cooler then, but John would argue with me. So I'm not going to say that. The first day was not so cool. Okay. Any other questions?
Not really a question, but an announcement. For those of you that are currently members and for those of you that are considering membership for calendar year 2022 will open at the conclusion of next month's general meeting. If you are currently a member, you will receive a renewal invitation. If you are not a current member, you won't get an invitation, but you will be able to join just the same. Dues for the upcoming calendar year as set by the bylaws will be $25 for a full year. And if you are a returning member from 2020, it's actually a very easy process to renew your membership if none of your information has changed. So current members, stay on the lookout. I'm busy creating everything for 2022, and boy, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be created. Usually I don't do it all at the same time. I do it kind of piecemeal, but I've been trying to focus on it all at once. And there's a lot of stuff that gets migrated over. So the renewal invitations will go out probably in early December, maybe actually the day of the general meeting, because that's the day that the membership period will open. And stay tuned for that. And of course, you're always welcome to contact me at treasurer@koha-US.org. The information on the website right now still reflects 2021 membership. So if you are interested in joining, don't join yet because your membership will only be good through the end of this calendar year. So do wait. The announcement will get sent out to all of the lists that 2022 membership is open. And we look forward to seeing many returning members as well as welcoming new ones.
Thanks, John.
John, can I ask a question about that?
Certainly.
So I'm new. I joined after the conference this year, or during the conference this year, some point that. And I am the only member of my organization who has joined so far. I think Kelda's on this call today. She's our new, my new boss. She just joined us. What is kind of the recommended, like how many members of an organization should join? How many should get involved? Like how, I'm curious what other organizations do as far as being part of the koha-US community.
There are no institutional or consortial level memberships at this time. The only types of membership available are individual. And so we do encourage and welcome multiple individuals from the same institution. There's really no hard and fast rule as to what that number should be. Smaller libraries tend to really only have one. In fact, there are very few libraries that have more than one. But the more individual members you have, the greater your opportunity to express a voice into things like the direction of the board or the development that's getting supported or the conference location. So you can have as many people join as you want individually. There really is no restriction on that.
Okay. So my thought was we have several different staff members that I'm encouraging to join the different SIGs, depending on what, like if they sit on the circulation committee, or in my team, I do acquisitions. We're thinking about somebody for cataloging, all that stuff. So my thought was to encourage each of them to join. I mean, sounds like it's acceptable and a good idea.
Oh, it's absolutely acceptable. By all means, the more the merrier as it goes. And You do not need to be a member to participate in SIGs, but the organization appreciates the expressed possibility of interest from more than one member from any institution, regardless of size.
Cool.
Everybody should become a member, and everybody should donate money too.
Yes. Well, I
Listen
was
to the-
thinking that, yeah.
The wise words of past President George Williams.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. That's good information. Good question, Ashley. That's great. Okay. Are we all done with announcements? Does anybody have anything else for announcements? All right. Now, the exciting part is officer elections. So this year we have 3 positions open for election. We have the vice president, which is every year, and then secretary and member at large unsupported, those 3. And what we wanted to do today was introduce the candidates that we have, and then just kind of let them give a little bio and things like that. I think every position is uncontested, I think. So we are so pleased to have 2 of the 3. As George mentioned earlier, Christopher Brandon has put his name in for vice president. He's been sick, so he's not here today. So hopefully we will get his bio to you by the time the vote actually goes out. The ballot will not go out for another week, because we have this 1 week for, I don't know, people to think about stuff, I guess. So I would have started with the vice president to introduce himself. Christopher Brandon actually has been vice president and he's a past president of koha-US. Got lots of experience with it. Coeur d'Alene actually hosted one of the conferences a couple of years ago. So he's very active in the community. He and George do the every other Thursday video. And yeah, we're thrilled that he was willing to put his name in the hat again. So next, our candidate for secretary is Jennifer. Jennifer, would you like to introduce yourself to the group? And
hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
My name is Jennifer Marlatt. I work at the Corona Public Library in California. It's a nice 55 degrees right now. It's a little chilly for Southern California. I've been at the library for 22 years. I am also the local history librarian. I do cataloging, acquisitions. Yes, Heather. I often look at your catalog for inspiration in cataloging. I have been system administrator since 2018. That's when our previous administrator left. And I have been learning through all the special interest groups, the videos. I would have been lost without them. I have a master's degree in library and information science from San Jose State. And our library has been with Koha since 2013.
okay. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you so much for your willingness to participate in the community as secretary. And Jason Robb will show you all the ropes and everything, assuming you get elected, but yeah, we're figuring you will.
I don't know, might be difficult.
Yeah.
Jennifer, sorry, I had to turn up my volume. What library you work?
Corona Public Library.
And where?
Corona, California.
Okay.
Kind of unfortunate when the outbreak first happened.
Yeah. All right, and then the last candidate that we have here is for member at large, unsupported, and we have Lauren Denny for that position. Lauren, would you like to introduce yourself and give us a little bit of information about yourself?
Hi, I'm Lauren Denny. I am in North Carolina, where it is 77 degrees today. Beautiful. So y'all come on down, have some sweet tea. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
The cold's coming in this weekend though, so it's going to be short-lived. My library experience, I started as an elementary school librarian before going on the mission field in 2008, where I have served libraries on 6 continents with over 5 different library softwares, some open source, some paid. I am a member at large in so many ways. In 2017, I joined Teamwork Library Consortium, which uses Koha. And so I have had to have a large learning curve with Koha, and then a large learning curve with cataloging, batch editing, importing. I am the person who is involved in taking the data from their old system, whatever it may be, and converting it and importing it into Koha. So that has been a fun and challenging and exciting and adventurous job. I'm constantly learning. I love the special interest groups because they tell me what I don't know on a regular basis. So that's kind of who I am in a nutshell, I guess.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lauren. And we're excited to have you as a part of our community on the board here.
I'd like to add, if I may spill the beans, Lauren and I are sort of contemplating doing a video on spreadsheet to Mark. As soon as I finish my part too, never mind. But Lauren, I think we should look forward to many more demos from other systems to Koha.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I definitely have my favorites, though I have learned there is no one perfect system. All of them have something that is horrible, and all of them have something that is, oh, this is the most wonderful thing in the world. I'm hoping one day Koha can grow to just accepting everyone's, oh, this is the most wonderful thing in the world, and get rid of all the ones that no one likes.
Yep, that's the exciting thing about Koha is it's grassroots kind of thing, we get to determine what's going on. Thank you so much, Lauren. So our candidates again are Christopher Brandon from Coeur d'Alene Public Library, Jennifer Marlett from Corona, right? Corona Public Library, and then Lauren Denny. All I remember is North Carolina, but some consortium in North Carolina. So we will send out the ballot later, or in a week. There'll be a ballot that will go out. And then we have 2 weeks to vote. Is that correct? Or is it just one?
I believe the bylaws say a minimum of a week.
Okay.
I think the board discussed at the board meeting last week, and we'll leave the ballot open until next month's board meeting and close it right before then so that we can certify the vote. And then after that, the general meeting will make the official announcement of vote counts and whatnot. And at the end of the December meeting is the transition of power, where everyone takes their steps down and steps up.
Okay.
Yeah, and who
All right.
gets to vote?
Only members are voting. So if you're not a member, you won't see that ballot come through. So we'll just be sending that ballot to the voting membership.
Yep. So if you want to vote, get your $12.50 to John ASAP. And then you can vote.
And if you want to vote in next year's election, make sure and get your 2022 membership online.
There you go. There you go. Possibly. Possibly a poll tax, but we won't go there. Okay.
It's a benefit of membership. Voting is a benefit of membership.
Okay. The benefit of membership, and which includes voting on the location as well for the next conference, because only members get to vote on the location of the next conference. So definitely become a member for 2022 so you can participate in that voting. And for libraries that have multiple people who are members, they get more votes on where the conference should be. So there you go. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about elections? Okay. We will move on to committee reports. And the most important thing is in red on the agenda. And that is, if you're interested in joining a committee, let us know at info@koha-US.org. So each year, you know, some people change positions, change responsibilities, change, you know, so we've got people coming and going on these conference committees, but we want to make on all these committees, and we want to make sure that we've got enough people, because the more people on the committee, the lighter the load is for everybody. So definitely give us, send an email to info@koha-US.org. It's a great place for people who are new to Koha to get kind of plugged in and kind of get a sense of what's going on and who's, you know, how the user group works. It's a great place to get your feet wet in the community. So definitely I encourage people to do that. We will start with the conference committee report. So we had our conference in McKinney in September, toward the end of September. It was great. It was a hybrid conference. So we learned all kinds of things about doing it that way, you know, intentionally kind of a hybrid situation. So like we mentioned, come December 1st, we will put out the requests for proposals for the next location. And that is pretty much all I have to report as far as the conference committee. We will be meeting right after this meeting to, you know, talk about the proposals and get that ready to go out December 1st. So definitely talk amongst your libraries and things like that to get some proposals. Most years we have 3 or 4 libraries that submit proposals. So yeah, encourage you to get your proposals out there for the next conference. It'll be hopefully most of this virus stuff will be behind us, and we can get together. It's just, the conference is just such a great opportunity to meet people and to get, you know, talk with people about what they're doing, how they're you know, what kind of workflows they're doing, see the interesting things that people are doing, And also, you know, to make connections with people so that during the year, when you have something come up, you can think, oh yeah, I talked to, you know, Barbara at the conference, and, you know, she's kind of my counterpoint at her library. Let me give her a call and see what they do in this situation. And since Barbara is literally 3 hours up the road, we've stopped in and visited a couple of times. So yeah, that's fun. Let's see. Yes, that is definitely true. And George, do you have anything about the virtual conference that you wanted to say?
We didn't have one this year, and I'm not going to be on this committee next year. So
Okay.
if we're going to have another online only conference in the spring, somebody should volunteer to chair that and get working on it now, because it's a lot of work to get it put together. So the reason we didn't have it this year is because we did the work to get it together, and then we only had 3 proposals for presentations. So which all ended up being presentations at the hybrid conference in September. So I'm not really sure if it's something that needs to continue. But if anybody is interested in having another Kohathon April conference, that's what it's going to take, is somebody to get in there and get to work on it soon. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, George. Are there any questions for the conference committee? Either one, in person? Okay. Next, we have the development committee. Barbara is the current chair of that. Barbara?
So we had our November meeting, and we are currently working on a development with a vendor named Auto Parallel Technologies. And the gentleman's name is Ivan. And the bug number is 12029. And it's the ability for patrons to be able to delete messages from their account in the OPAC. So some kind of message that the library put on the patron's account. And now this would allow the ability for the patron to say, okay, I've seen that, you know, I don't want to see that anymore. I'm going to delete that. So that's what the capability is, functionality. And so at the meeting, Ivan is going to schedule time to meet with Christopher Brannon, because he's the one that submitted this bug, and with Owen Leonard, and they're going to look at the code and go through all of that and you know, really make sure the functionality is working the way that is expected. And then we're hoping at the December meeting that then Auto Parallel will be able to give us a demo of how it actually works.
Yes. It's very exciting, because this would be the first development that would be ready for the community, you know, to be submitted to the community in the sign-off process and everything like that. So that would be great if we could get one out there.
And we have another development that was, it's a contract with Bywater, and it's to customize the account lines description. And I think I probably need to maybe just ask them for a status update on, you know, is anything happening here, or is there any kind of ETA or plan or?
We're collaborating, my organization is collaborating on that one with koha-US, and I asked about it last month in my meeting with them and didn't get an update. I asked them to update the ticket with some information. I have another meeting tomorrow with Bywater, so I'll bug them again about it, but
Great.
Hopefully we'll have some sort of update soon on that. The last update I heard, it should have been in the development cycle for, I think, this release, the one coming out this month. But given the lack of progress on the bug tracker and the lack of response, I'm guessing that's probably not going to happen. But when I find out information, I'll definitely share what I know.
I'm the one who submitted the bug originally, and I was planning on funding it. And by the time I got permission from my director to fund it, koha-US and Southeast had already funded it. So, but my name is on the bug, and I'll mention it to Bywater too in my next meeting. I'll ask them for an update also, since I have a little bit of teeth into that. So.
Okay. Any questions about the development committee or for the development committee that anybody has? Okay. Next up is the education committee. And
I can just say that our main focus right now is Giving Tuesday. So again, if you have questions you want to submit for us to answer during the stream, please do so. The education committee will meet next Wednesday at 10:30 Central, which is our regular meeting time. And we'll be working on getting everything worked out for that. Other stuff that's on the radar, we've been talking more about kind of refreshing the website a little bit, making some updates and getting things kind of organized where they need to be, such as the conference stuff that needs filed into the Learn page, that sort of thing. And then just working on resources as usual, the videos, the reference guides, whatnot. We're still chairless, but George has graciously volunteered to become our chair in January. So
not until January though.
yeah.
So I'm filling the void right now. I grab power. I think that's how I stated that. So I'll be filling in until December, and then after that, George will be taking over.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Any questions for the education committee? Okay. Yes. All right. Next, Mr. Sturbins, the Finance Committee.
If you've been able to take a look at the report, you'll see we're doing pretty well. We are at 64 members as of the end of last calendar month, and 2021 membership is still open. I'll probably keep it open until the end of this month, the end of November, at which point it'll be shut down for about a week-long transition into 2022. So to repeat what Rhonda said, if you are not a member yet but want to vote for or in support of the 3 candidates we have for the open board positions, you need to be a member to do so, and you need to be a member in good standing. And that means I get money, usually through PayPal, but through any other means. So it's looking like we are actually currently at 65 members. We've had 1 member join since the end of last month, and I expect that number really won't go up anymore, although it certainly could. With regard to the organization's finances, we are continuing to do well financially. Taking a look at the final September report, you see lots of expenses related to the conference, but you'll also see a cashier's check service charge. When I went to get the cashier's check, which was the insisted upon required method of payment for auto parallel technologies, they said, oh, hey, look, we're not going to charge you the amount for the cashier's check. And I said, oh, wow, that's great. I expected to pay $15 because that's what the fee schedule said. Well, no, they didn't charge me then. They just added it to the account, and it appeared as a line item on the September statement. So that is what the cashier's check is for. The service charge is for, and we will pay another cashier's check service charge when the final payment to Auto Parallel Technologies is made. Taking a look at the preliminary numbers for October, most of the income you see is related to the conference in one way, shape, or form, giving us a preliminary October ending balance of just under $10,500. In terms of other matters, For the Finance Committee, you see in front of you a preliminary annual finances or annual conference finances report. We took in just shy of $1,500 in registrations and actually did receive a donation in kind for a non-member registration of $55. The expenses you see are almost finalized, not quite. The amounts you see for food and beverage, printing and supplies, as well as PayPal service fees, those should be all set now. The one outstanding are the thank yous to our hosting institution. And when considering those outstanding thank yous, we should net a total of probably about $700, maybe just a little bit less, for the organization's discretionary funds. Most, but not all. Oh, let me switch to the other report. I'm reading the notes for it, but there's another report, the bonus report, because it is now time to review the third quarter finances. If you take a look at that, it's actually part of the report that Jason posted. We're doing pretty well here, and all of the conference stuff is pretty much gathered together, but it is not all of the conference stuff. There's an outstanding check that I didn't cash until October. There are some of the outstanding payments to be made, like for the thank yous. So the conference expenses on the quarterly report are not yet complete. But outside of that, everything is looking pretty good for the organization. Again, no real surprises, nothing out of whack, nothing really outstandingly glaring in terms of any possible problems. We're doing well. And if you look at the very bottom of the report, you'll notice that the $1,000 for the development is not reflected here yet. That's because we don't balance the discretionary funds until the end of the fiscal year. So that $1,000 for the development that has been paid and has actually been cashed is not yet reflected here because we're not at the end of the fiscal year yet. Are there any questions about either the quarterly financial report or the regular monthly report? If there are no questions, that's it from the Finance Committee.
Okay. Thank you, John. Great job as always.
Thank you.
And the final committee is the Fundraising Committee. This one, there is a blank after the Fundraising Committee, which means there is no chair for this right now. So an excellent way to get involved in koha-US is to volunteer to be a chair for one of the committees, like the Fundraising Committee. So if you're interested in helping us raise more funds so we can get more developments into koha and just make it better and better, please let us know again at info@koha-us.org, or you can talk to anyone that's on the current board, and we will be happy. We've got a subscription to oh, what is that called again? Station something.
Grant Station.
Grant Station. Thank you. You know, so there's that. You can you have that resource, and we also have, you know, there's lots of things that we can do. And also, you know, if you're interested, maybe there's a couple people that are interested and you want to co-chair it or something like that, we can always do that. Lots of opportunities. If you know people at your locations, that would be really great for a fundraising, to be on the fundraising committee. Let them, you know, give them a poke in the shoulder or whatever, and we need to get that going again, because right now we're just relying on donations and the conference. We want to figure out other ways that we can get, you know, grant writing is a great way. You know, we've actually got, we can show that we've got a development in soon, you know, we'll be able to show that we have, you know, benefited koha-US with our development. And yeah, any ideas that you have for fundraisers would be welcome. Anybody going to volunteer to be the chair of the fundraising committee? Yeah.
I've nominated the chair in my cubicle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll
That's
think
all right,
about
Joe.
it. Since I'm not going to be on the board anymore, I may have extra time, but I may find that I don't have extra time, but I'll consider it.
Okay. All right.
Jason's life-size cutout that had been meant to attend and arrive at McKinney actually is now at my house.
I thought you left it at the airport.
No, I tried to, but they caught up with me.
Oh,
Damn
well,
freaking flyer number.
that's a way better candidate than my chair, because it actually looks like me.
There you go. Okay. Anything that anybody has thought of since we started talking about committee reports that you want to ask, share, announce, anything like that? Okay.
Just one final thing, Rhonda, because
Yeah.
it was in my one report, but not the other. Since we are at the end of the current year, there will be a budget presented first at the board meeting and then at the general meeting for the upcoming year. This will be the organization's 18, 19, 20, 21, fifth budget
Okay.
of record. And I've had the pleasure of drafting and putting them all, implementing them all. So there will be extended financial discussion next month. Probably not a whole lot of change from budget to budget, and our ability to do the projections that I've been longing to staple down really have been thrown aside because of the pandemic for the last few years. But still, we will have a budget to discuss both at the board and general meetings next month.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, let's see. We've got about 10 minutes left. And this is the time that we just do kind of an open discussion. If you have questions, if you have, anything that you want to talk about related to Koha, the obvious thing is upgrade experiences. I think if you're a partner with Bywater, they started November 1, upgrading in general. I know there's a couple people here that were early adopters for this double release, which was a little crazy.
I'd like to start out with sort of an update on crossing the Linux barrier. I am working. The update is I don't really have an update on part 2 of the video because this has been a really bizarre month. And last month and the month before, I did do a rough draft, which is terrible. As soon as I learn how to talk with 2 fewer teeth, I'll do the second draft, but hope to have it out by the end of the year.
Okay, super. Anybody have anything from their upgrade experience? And is anybody here not upgraded yet? I'm sure. Okay, Jason, George, Bob. Okay.
I'm not, but I'm also not supported. So
There
I'm
you
not
go.
sure what version I'm on, but same thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
One thing I can say is Lizette expressed an issue. I don't remember if it was the last meeting or the one before that. There was an issue with multi-branch systems when you place a hold. If you choose an item level hold, the allowed pickup locations is a new box on the right-hand side of the items table when you're placing a hold. And that allowed pickup location will default to the library that owns the item. So when you're placing a hold Like if I was placing a hold here at the Nichols office and I wanted that to be an item level request, the main pickup location for that hold, the pickup at box is going to say Northeast Kansas Library System. But if I make it an item specific hold, the pickup location is going to be the item's home library. And that creates an extra step for staff. And it's an extra step for staff that at Valnet, they were not catching. They weren't realizing that that was happening. So I did write some jQuery to fix that problem that just sets all of those allowed pickup location dropdowns to the library that you're logged in at. And that is shared on the wiki, and there's a link to that jQuery in the chat box right now.
Okay. Thanks, George.
So we're hosted by Bywater, and our first attempt at the upgrade failed. So we're actually rescheduled for tonight. So
Okay.
it's nice to hear that now I know that if that happens tomorrow, I'll be prepared. Any other things that happen that I could be prepared for? Or has it been pretty smooth for everybody?
Jennifer.
We can't hear you, Jennifer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still can't hear.
If you have-
I still can't hear
You're
you
really
well.
quiet, but
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, I'll speak up. If we have cover flow on our OPAC and it was all messed up, some of the displays and things had changed and been kind of overwritten on the homepage of the OPAC. So the bootstrap was all thrown off and had to be redone. So it was it looked kind of like a train wreck the first morning. So it's just something to look at. Just look at the homepage of your OPAC and make sure it looks okay.
Okay, I will prep my team. Thank you very much.
That was my understanding too. I haven't gone through the upgrade yet on our production system, but our test server has been upgraded. And I didn't have that many problems, but there are a lot since Bootstrap updated. It changed a lot of the selectors and a lot of the IDs and classes in the OPAC, and that has had a big impact on a lot of people, especially if you have a lot of custom CSS or a lot of custom jQuery in your OPAC. That apparently breaks pretty easily in the new version. And if you're a Bywater customer, the person that has had the most experience fixing that, to my understanding, is Lucas. So.
Thank you, George.
Okay. Anything else? Questions anybody has, or anything else?
Just want to mention that we're doing the special interest group for consortiums next week on Thursday. It is 8 Pacific and so on. So please, if you're part of a consortium, join the discussion. We had a good discussion at koha-US and hoping to have more. We're tentatively planning on doing this quarterly. If there's more interest, we can always increase the number of meetings, but we'll start with that. And I apologize for not getting that information out earlier via email, but we'll make sure the next one is definitely promoted well in advance.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, most of the SIGs meet monthly. The consortium one obviously is quarterly. So check the calendar at the bottom of the homepage at koha-US.org. And there's a calendar down there, and it will show you all the upcoming SIGs. And if there is not one that's related to your area of interest, then we invite you to start it. We even have one crafting one, books and crafting or something like that. So anything that you're interested in talking with other Koha librarians about. So we have like 2 minutes left for, if there's nothing else, I think we can, anyone who's not staying for the conference committee, you're free to go, and we can end the recording.